This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Mom and Pop Eateries for Grey Bruce. I'm your host, Rob Leonard, and as I've said time and time again, and I'll say it again, what a great journey it's been across Grey and Bruce counties, visiting some of these fantastic Mom and Pop Eateries, and we thought at Rogers TV be a great opportunity. We're 1 year in, just about 1 year old at the end of this month, at the end of May, to take a look back and do a revisit with some of our restaurants. So we were in Hanover for the first show. Then we jumped over to Southampton. Now we're going to head over to the beautiful town of Meaford. And my buddy Daryl Johnson, owner of Amici Restaurant and Pizza. Daryl, welcome to the show.
How's it going, Rob? How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, buddy. It's a little dreary out there, typical 1st of May weather, but we'll take it, right?
Oh, for sure. It's not snow, right? So we're good.
Yeah, exactly. So just to let the folks know, Daryl and I spoke. Actually, Daryl, you were guest number 2. We've done about 35 or 36 episodes so far, but you were guest number 2. You were supposed to be guest number 1, but it didn't happen. You had some scheduling issues and things like that. But I want everybody to know that Daryl was, I have a video on the page where I say that, I put it out there before I started the page. Daryl was the person that I put it out to, and Daryl was very important in getting the Mom and Pop Eateries page off the ground. He thought it was a great idea. Not only that, you invited everybody in the Meaford area from your business page, from your personal page, to get the numbers up on the page in the beginning. So I have to congratulate you and thank you for being such a big part of the success of the Mom and Pop Eateries page and the show.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, it was a great page. I love the idea. So that I had no problem throwing it out to everybody I knew and everyone we had contact with. So it was great. It definitely helped, I think, throughout the first round of this COVID. Yeah,
exactly. And you've been kind of my, what's the word? I get an idea or something, and I always, you're the first person I ask. I trust your opinion immensely, and, I throw stuff at you all the time to see what you think. And you've made a couple of appearances on the show, and you and I have got together for a Facebook Live thing here and there just to talk to the people. And so, all right, let's take a look back. May 1st of 2020 was really a tumultuous time for everybody. Restaurants closed. Now, I remember you chose to keep your dining room closed. And as far as I understand, you have kept it closed.
Still closed.
Let's talk a bit about your idea behind that and the reasons why you decided to keep it closed.
Well, we looked at COVID kind of really before it happened. We had I had family that was living down in Florida at the time, and so we were looking at it, what it was doing internationally, and what it's been going on, and how it was developing. And my stepmom, with her nursing background, she kind of, when she started to see it develop, she's like, this isn't going to be a short-term temporary thing. Something like this is going to be long-term. It's going to be global, and it's going to be long-lasting. So with with her input and everything, we decided to just close the dining room. We cut about 40% of our menu out when COVID was announced and the first shutdown happened, because it wasn't exactly takeout and delivery friendly items. So we cut out everything that wouldn't hold or wouldn't transport well, redid our menu, added about a dozen new things right away. And then we just decided that, till at least April, May, June of 2021, we're going to remain closed, and then reevaluate at that time. So that puts us now in, we want to get something going in the dining room, but it's one of those things. We've had such a steady and consistent product for our customers and our staff as well, that we don't really want to open and close. So we're just kind of holding on, doing what we're doing, adding new takeout items, new frozen items, new meals like that. So yeah, we'll see how long this keeps going for.
Yeah, and that's, there are a few other places that have made the same decision as you did. It's strictly a business, a business and a health related decision that you made to keep that closed. It's got to be tough, but I remember back a year ago when you said that that's what you were planning on doing, and a year later, everything you've done is, in my estimation, is proven to be right, and you made the right choices. So again, offering you an opportunity to work on new items and to bring a lot of different ideas to the plate. It's not just pizza at Amici. You've got so many different things on the menu, but not afraid to try a lot of new stuff. So let's talk about your new menu. You've got a new menu out just recently, and a lot of appetizers and appetizer specials going on, things like that.
Yeah. So last week, Tuesday last week, we launched a new menu and a new POS system on the same day. So let's just say Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday were a little crazy hectic, just trying to get all the new menu items down pat. We've been making them for a long time now, but it had never been readily available. It was kind of like one of those hidden Facebook, Instagram secret menu type things where we've had them for a while. And anyone that really follows our page closely knew about them and was ordering it, but it wasn't widely available. So, the learning curve on that. But yeah, we added 9 new items to the menu. Tempura green beans, onion rings. We added 2 brand new pizzas, 4 brand new sandwiches. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and it's, again, you've done a fantastic job. I took a look at the new items, and in my humble estimation, you've done a fantastic job to not only recognizing what your customers want, but also keeping with the takeout theme, because it is going to be around for a while longer. I know, apparently we're supposed to be out of this on May 21st, but I don't see that happening at all. I think some of the experts are saying now we may be in this situation until into June, possibly July, before we're out of this. So a lot of that, as you said, you've got 4 new sandwiches on the menu, things that are easy to grab and go.
Yeah, no, for sure. Exactly right. Yeah. And, when they said May 20th, I looked at a calendar and I'm like, yeah, so you're going to reopen a day before May 24 weekend. So I can't see them doing that, right? So that pushes us until at least the next week, but they know people are going to get together. So they're going to push us 2 more weeks to see what the numbers do. So for me, I'm thinking, the earliest that we're going to be out of this lockdown, is probably going to be the week of June 7th to 11th, all depending on what numbers do. So if everyone stays, in their social bubbles and minimizes their exposures and their risks, we could be out by middle of June. But looking back on what historically has happened in the last year with, weekends and events and getting together, I think it's going to get extended. Hopefully it doesn't, but we're ready for it if it does.
Yeah, and May 21st is actually the Friday of the Victoria Day long weekend. I don't think they're going to allow that to happen. So, but it doesn't keep the cottagers from heading up to their cottages. That's still going to happen. It's still happening now.
Yeah.
People are not, to a certain degree, a lot of people, the people of Grey Bruce have done such a fantastic job throughout this entire pandemic, right? And doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing, with the exception of a little bush party here and there.
Yeah.
But, and the numbers have stayed low. That's why Grey Bruce was able to stay in green, in yellow, and you got some national attention for that, right? So, as they say about this virus, it's mobile. It moves with people. So if people are refusing to stay away, from Grey Bruce, in this, it makes it really difficult to keep doing the fantastic job that Grey Bruce has been doing.
Yeah, we've been fortunate enough since the beginning with our cleaning protocols and everything we've done. We've been able to operate basically unaffected by every lockdown, every shutdown, everything. We've been able to work, as our status quo. Our new standard is above what, the health board calls for, even during a lockdown period. So that's why we've been able to go through. And we've also catered ourselves to those cottagers and those weekenders that have coming up, because we have the option that they can order whatever they want off our menu. And we have a contactless payment system and drop off available for them, right? So if they're up at their cottage, they give us a call, they place their order, they prepay for it, we drop it off right at the door and give them a call as we're leaving the laneway. So we've been very fortunate to have such a strong delivery system set up and in place to take advantage of those weekenders coming up, and also not exposing our staff and the general public to any safety concerns.
And that's a fantastic way to do it. And, and hats off to those cottagers who are following those rules and keeping that in mind. But, you obviously, a year in, you've got it down to a science exactly what needs to be done. So now, when everybody was opening up patios last year, this was the theme, it seemed, for my last show, the last one I did about the patios, because they are going to be a big part of the landscape again, at least, I would say for the entire summer, because they were a huge success last year. Yeah. You weren't able to get one going at your place, as far as I remember. Are there plans in place to try and get one this year?
Well, we've been talking about a patio since we've opened 5 years ago. It's always kind of been, one of our goals to get some type of patio set up. We're looking at a couple different options for this year, but our big focus is, if we do a patio, one, it has to be temporary. Meaning we have to be able to remove it during the winter for winter maintenance of our parking lot as per our lease agreement, right? The other one is we want to be able to use it, for many years to come, just at the expense of building a patio. So it's one of those things we're trying to find a design that works, that's movable, but also is aesthetically pleasing, but we don't have to worry about, a lot of maintenance every year to keep it running. So we're still working on it. We have a couple ideas in mind, and we're working on a couple things. So we may see a patio this year, but we're definitely want to add a patio at some point in the near future.
Yeah, and it's where you're located in that plaza. You're right on. You've got a corner spot. You've got so you've got either side that you could work with, I guess. But again, you're going to end up losing parking spaces, that kind of thing. And there's a lot more that goes into it than what people might think. It's not, as you said, it's not just as easy as putting in a patio.
Yeah. So for us in our plaza, there's actually 8 total businesses in the plaza. So there are our business plus 7 other businesses. Now, we're kind of located on the front corner, we have, a lot of storefront off the highway and off the side, but that's also prime parking spots for most of the businesses. There is a lot of parking in the back, but whoever wants to park in the back of a parking lot when they have to walk across or walk so far. So that's one of those things that we're having to juggle, like with the other businesses and our landlords. So, but everyone's been really great. They love the idea. So yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people I've spoken to have said that the patios were a surprise for a lot of Chamber of Commerce, or for the powers that be in the communities, because it actually attracted people to the downtown area. In a conversation I had with Simon Newbold from Chez Gilles, who's right downtown Meaford, and they said that it was basically people were driving by and going, "Oh, look at all these patios! It looks amazing! Let's stop." And they would go into the shops, and it became an attraction for people. So.
Oh yeah, no, I love the idea of the patios downtown. Meaford's fortunate enough that we have a couple of municipal lots, like just around the backside of our main street. So even though we lost almost an entire block on one side from patios, just the attraction and how it looked in our downtown core, it really helped revitalize our downtown core for the summer, even with the lockdown and COVID going on. So I think it's definitely a nice thing, and I really hope our council and our mayors and our town staff allow the downtown businesses to keep doing it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's great to have that support from your city officials to make it happen. And I know there's discussions that have been going on in a lot of communities all over Grey and Bruce counties. The city realizing that the businesses, restaurants in particular, are being hard hit, really hard hit, and those patios are going to be really, really super important to the survival of a lot of places this year. And, you know, I haven't seen a lot of places that have closed in Grey and Bruce counties, but it was quite disappointed to see that there has been a casualty in Bruce County, that the Matt Dwyer and the Red Bay Lodge has decided to close indefinitely. Our heart goes out to Matt Dwyer. We know, from the number of times that I had Matt on the show, talking about, the battle that he was having in Bruce County, and not with Bruce County, but with insurance and all the things that it took for restaurants to try and survive in COVID. And he's very sadly decided that the way he's worded it is that closing indefinitely, but if there's any way that he can come back, that he will. So I want to wish Matt Dwyer and the Red Bay Lodge all the best.
Yeah, no, we noticed that increase on our insurance too. Just we got it, and I was shocked. So we had to call our insurance and talk to them, be like, hey, is this real? Is this the actual number, or is it a mistake in the computer? And it took them a while to get back to us. But yeah, it was the insurance increase was definitely a shock this year on our renewal.
I find it hard to understand, especially when customers aren't allowed inside the building. So right. Where's the liability? What is it that is making the insurance companies feel that they need to increase rates when basically there's nobody coming in?
Right. Well, that's the thing. And then even the stock I keep in house, right? We used to keep eight different draft lines going, plus 12 different wines and liquors and stuff. And now I stock 2 wines and 2 tall cans of beer. So just in my alcohol inventory, right, is drastically reduced. So it's, I don't know. They really didn't have a good explanation for it. They had a lot of, a lot of excuses, I guess, but it is what it is. You have to have it. So that's where they get you.
And that's the thing, like you say, there's so many things that you have to have. The restaurant business is inundated on a daily basis to do, more than what we had already been doing for years. The restaurant business was probably the most legislated, let's say, by the public health unit, with regular inspections, with making sure that everything was absolutely safe, from food temperatures to refrigeration, proper storage of the food, the washrooms, sanitation stuff that was already in place.
Yep.
And then you got to take that 10 points higher or more to do it, but then somebody's going to come along with their hand out and try and take what little money that you're making at this point, for whatever reason. So there's got to be a ton of frustration in the industry.
Oh yeah, no, it's I know for us it was quite a surprise, the amount of extra stuff that came on board with COVID that doesn't really make sense, because they're legislating us to do this and this, but it was already standard practice for us in the restaurant industry. So it's I don't know. I guess it seems like the federal and the provincial and municipal authorities, want to have that good image with the public, saying they're doing, different things to ensure their safety, when in actuality, a lot of it was already in place for restaurants. So it's really, they didn't really do a whole lot except say we can't have anybody in the dining room, and good luck to you.
So it seems, Daryl, that you've over the past year, you've basically set your course. You pretty much decided what was going to happen. You've stayed the course and just worked specifically dealing with takeout, delivery, and enhancing all of those things and making them better, coming up with new items and all of those things. And it obviously, judging by the responses I see to your posts and the number of responses I see to your posts and happy customers, again, I gotta say you made the right choice.
Yeah, like it was one of those things. Like, it was so, everyone else was doing something completely different than us, and at times we were guessing, like, did we make the right move? Should we change our course? Should we adjust slightly to see what we could do? And we always came back to, like, our staff is staying safe. All of our staff that we have are getting nearly full-time hours. They're working steady. Why risk a shutdown? Why risk a restriction in our hours and operating and risk our staff when we're doing all right? So that was kind of a thing we constantly looked at, but always decided just to keep doing what we're doing.
And that's another thing too that comes into the equation too with the patios. If you open a patio, you have to allow access to your bathroom, so to your washrooms. Your customers have to be allowed to go in there. So that would just add another worry to and another expense to the inside of the building. That I guess a restaurant owner needs to take into consideration: is it worth it? Is it worth it to do that? So and that's another unknown whether it's worth it or not.
Yeah, well, like, I know last year, just looking at the cost of building a patio and getting chairs and tables and umbrellas and all that necessary stuff, and then having that extra probably 2 or 3 staff members on in any given day to keep the washrooms clean, keep the tables clean, keep everything cleared off and whatever. It was like looking at on a hard number standpoint, with the greatly reduced capacity, we were just like, it might be beneficial, it might not. It's not one of those clearly, yes, it's going to help us or whatever. So that's why we kind of like, let's see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just, as you were talking, I was going through some of the experiences where I work, with the patios last year, and it was a really hot summer, and consistently hot, low precipitation. It was a pretty good summer for patio, but it did create some interesting moments. I recall one. I was actually standing and I could actually see it happen. And a seagull, gentleman was sitting there with a chicken finger dinner, and a seagull dove down and stole his chicken fingers and took off with them. So, but it startled him. He jumped up. He had a bad knee to start with, and I guess he popped his knee out. And, it was just, little things like that were happening that, not funny, of course, but it does create some interesting moments.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like it'd be comical, especially if you were able to see it as it happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, let's talk about a fun thing that's been going on in the area recently. And this idea started, I did a little research on it, and it's called Sign Wars. And it started in West Virginia. It was businesses across the street from each other. They started taking shots at each other on their boards. Yep. And it's taken off in Grey and Bruce counties big time. I guess there's one going on in Listowel between Speedy Auto Glass, I think, and somebody else that got some national attention. But it has caught on to the point where even the mom and pop Eateries page was tagged in a sign war by Chez Gilles. So, and you've been having some fun with that as well.
Yeah, I saw it happening. So, like, we don't really have a sign board that we can post. So I kind of made up an Instagram post for it, and I called out a few restaurants, a cafe, a couple shops in town, just to see what was going on. Just shout hey, and then we got a pretty good response from Leaky Canoe. As our followers know, sometimes I make our post up pretty quickly, and it's not uncommon for me to have a spelling error or grammatical error in my post. So yeah, Leaky Canoe called me out on that one, said that I spelled their name wrong, and the only thing that is hotter than their burn is their infernal wings. So I had to come back with that. And then the Pet Connect, not restaurant related, but a local pet food and feed store that does a lot of online sales. They called me out, so I had to respond to them. And no, it's been fun to see it developing in me for sure.
Yeah, and it's it's a great way for restaurants to support each other because you see, and let's see, even the Salvation Army, on Sound got it on the other day. They didn't want to be left out. It was hilarious. They put up "Don't make me come down there," signed God. I thought it was hilarious, but Lord Elgin Fish and Chips, for example, in Port Elgin, remember they've had some really good ones too. But what they're doing is they're not always going restaurant to restaurant. They'll be I don't know, like a plumbing supply place or something like that, or a hairdresser will, go after a restaurant, and then so really it's all these small businesses supporting each other with some great humor, and it really is a lot of fun.
I know it's pretty comical. When I started doing it online, a couple of our staff at work saw it, and by the time we went in to start getting ready for dinner service, they had about like 8 different ones memorized that they'd been working on all day for us to use. So we'll have a few more coming out this week.
Yeah, I just I knew what it was about, but I didn't know exactly how to respond when Shejil tagged me in it. So, but I came up with something anyway. Yeah. So, but like I said, it's a ton of fun. So, Daryl, hard to say looking forward what's going to happen here, but you did indicate earlier that you think probably the first week of June. Maybe we might see some relaxing of the restrictions and allow us to get back to a little bit of normal. But it sure would be nice to see maybe after the July long weekend a chance for my wife and I to get up to Sauble Beach or even Big Joe Park in Meaford there and go for a swim.
Yeah, I know. Like I'm really hoping it opens up sooner than later. We've done so well in this area, keeping our numbers low. Everyone, when they do go out, they follow the health advice, and not everyone agrees with it, but just out of respect for other people, they've just kind of been following it. A lot of people have been quite verbal against the mask and the different stuff going on, but in the same sense, they're also following it out of respect for their friends and neighbors, right? So we've been very fortunate up here, and just like if we keep going on this course, hopefully we can get open soon. Hopefully we can get people back to the beaches and restaurants back open, some patios open, and yeah.
That's fantastic. Yes, and Daryl, I want to thank you so much again. Great seeing you, buddy. And we've run out of time. Fantastic having you on, Daryl Johnson, part owner and chef at Amici in Meaford. And Daryl, thank you again, and hope to see you soon, my friend.
Awesome. See you soon, Rob. Thank you.
Okay, take care of yourself. Bye now.
Bye.
All right, and again, thank you, Daryl Johnson from Amici Meaford, for being on the show today. For producer Mark Perry, I'm Rob Leonard. Thanks so much for joining us on Mom and Pop Eaters of Grey Bruce. We'll see you next time.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Gentlemen,
we can work together.
this world is not